Have you ever been in a situation where you wish you responded differently to your child's behavior or their bad behavior or any type of reaction that they had? And you think about it later on when you're driving and you're like, man, I wish I said this or I wish I acted this way instead. But instead, you have to deal with what you just said already, and it's something that you know your child is thinking about. Well, you can change those things. You can do something called intentional parenting. Have you heard of it? It's a term that's floating around on the internet. You probably heard of it before. But with intentional parenting, you choose to calmly parent your child. You lead by example. You do things intentionally to instill values into your children so that they do react certain ways in public and in private as well. When you're having private conversations with them in the house, you want them to react a certain type of way, then you have to lead with the goal in mind. What is the goal that you have? Create those core values for your kids. That's what I suggest. I suggest if you want to do intentional parenting, the very first thing that you do is create core values for your family. And then you make those core values vocal to your family. And when you tell them about the core values, you tell them why it's important. You tell them what are the things that they're going to be getting out of this. What's the long-term benefit to instilling these values, to instilling these core sentimental values into your children? You need to know what your end game is going to be. You start with the end game in mind, and then that will help lead the beginning of the whole project that you're going to be doing with your children. And I call it a project because it's something that you're going to have to work on every single day. It is not something that you can just do one time or just part of the day or just when you feel like it. Because if you don't do this consistently, you will not see a change in anything. So if you want to see a different behavior in your children, if you want to instill these core values in your children and into your family, and you want them to grow to be successful, and you want them to have values inside of their being, if that's something that you want, if it sounds good to you, then I suggest you try intentional parenting. So you might be asking yourself, so, okay, what do I start now? What do I do now, Cynthia? You told me I need to look into intentional parenting. Well, look at the responses that you have to your children's behavior. Are you reacting proactively, or are you reacting reactively? Which means just lashing out on your child sometimes, not all the time. Are you doing that? Like, sometimes we do that. I've been guilty of that too. Sometimes we react in ways that we probably shouldn't react to our children, and it can have a long-term impact on our child in a negative way that we might not even realize we're doing. And I know that we all want to have a close relationship with our child. We want our child to come to us when there's something wrong. If they need somewhere to go, if they need someone to vent to, we want them to come to us. I know I want my child to come to me. So if they're not coming to me for those things, or if I'm starting to push them away, maybe I need to look at myself, reel back a little bit, and look at myself and see what I need to change differently. I need to lead by example. You need to lead by example with your children as well. And if you are not leading by example, you can change that. It is not the end of the world. You can still do this. You can become close to your child. Even if they're a teenager now and it seems like, oh, they're never going to get close to me. I'm never going to be able to have that close relationship that Cynthia's talking about. Yes, you can. You can still do that. You can change the way you respond to people. And if you change the way you respond to people, things start to line up in order. And it's not just your child. Of course, this video is about reacting to your child in a certain way, but change the way you respond to everybody. Maybe you're a little bit too angry. Maybe you just wear your emotions on your sleeve. Maybe you're reactive to life. You're just reacting to everything that's happening instead of responding to it. Let that resonate with you for a minute. Think about it. We'll get back to that. I believe that putting effort into your parenting and intentionally instilling values into your children on a daily basis is gold. That's something that every parent should strive to do. And if this is something that you would like to do, keep listening, because I'm going to speak with you more about what you can do to start intentionally parenting your children today. So the very first thing that you want to do is instill core values into your family. And you need to know what those core values are. You need to know what you stand for. What are the things that you want your children to have as they get older, as they progress into life, as they get into teenage years and middle school years and even young adult years. What are the values that you want to instill inside of your children, and why do you want to instill them? Are they there because you were told that they should be there, or were you raised that way, or are these things that are actually important that will help benefit them as an individual on a daily basis to become a better person than they could ever be? That's the gold. That's the gold right there. A standard to live by. You want to give them a clear standard to live by so that they know what they are supposed to do for themselves and for others on a daily basis. Think about it like this. Responding with the goal in mind of what you want the outcome to be. Responding with the goal in mind that you want the outcome to be. So in your mind, you know that how you want to feel. So you want to make sure you feel a certain type of way by responding a certain type of way, because that is the goal of the response. Are you getting me? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Because if you react this way, if you respond this way, then you will have a whole different impact when you are communicating with people. And communication is the layer to having a close relationship with your child. It is very, very important to have that clear communication, that open communication with your child. And this is how you get that. You change the way you are responding. Start with yourself. If you want to have a good relationship with your child, oh, my child is just this. Oh, they're just this way. That's just how they are. Start with yourself. If you change the way you are acting, they will change the way they act around you as well. So that's what I have for this video. Comment below if you're interested in this topic, if you're interested in starting intentional parenting with your child. Hit the notifications bell so that you can get notified every single time that I release a video. And subscribe if you are not subscribed to my content already. And I will see you guys in the next video.